Well, we're certainly in the two-cut camp this year. September and December, we've been calling for that for some time, and it makes sense. We have now the data to justify it. We have enough signaling from the Fed that that's their preferred departure point. We'll get the updated SEP, and there'll be a lot of information that we have between now and September to justify a move.
Karissa, how do you feel when you looked at all of the information we had this week from Fed officials, from other types of economic data? Do you now reposition in any form with more conviction?
Oh, we definitely feel like two cuts is absolutely correct. Possibly, there's of maybe another one in January, but this is absolutely the time to be positioning for that trade. And it's not just the bull steepener, it's also possibly positioning in longer term securities to take advantage of rates coming down across the curve over time. So yes, high conviction trade, the data is all there to support it.
And Ian, when you look at the market right now, is this more about what is happening with the Fed or what's happening in the political sphere? Some of the sharpest moves you saw this week came off the heels of this idea that Trump could be the next U.S. president.
Well, I would say that the bearish aspect of any steepening is going to be a function of what's going on in Washington and in the political sphere. The bull steepening, however, is a classic into the cycle trade, and that's the trade that everyone's been looking for this year. And so the fact that we now have an added steepening impulse in the form of politics, I think has really accelerated the move. And I still think that we get back into positive territory for twos, tens by the end of the year. It just might be a bumpy ride.
The bumpy ride ahead, too, Karissa, if you think about the bumpy ride it took to get here to begin with, how much conviction do you have in the long end, given that there could still be worries, particularly about the U.S. fiscal situation?
Excellent question. I think so much of that rests on kind of what happens politically, and that is a bit of a wild card. I think we have a fair degree more conviction of, again, Fed policy. You've had even Goolsbee just this week coming out, not wanting to risk kind of that golden path where both inflation and unemployment are at these places that are going to allow the Fed to execute on policy. So long yields, I think, yes, there's going to be some degree of additional volatility, but I think you can trade the steepener in terms of having conviction in that the Fed is set on its path. But yes, some degree of volatility, and we may have, we would expect to be in positive territory as well by year end.